We're the largest snacking company in the world.
That everyone in the business is a leader and have a role to play.
So it just naturally made sense that, my career would progress.
And I wish someone had told me when I was in high school that that was an option.
It's all about maintaining relationships and
have such a wide array of academic backgrounds in the CCAS.
A strong network of women here to help you.
Well, hi everyone. So today we are joined by Ian Edwards, who works for SAS. Thank you so much for joining us today, Ian.
That's great to be here. Thanks, Rebecca.
So firstly, can you tell us a bit about yourself and what's been your background with your career so far?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So my name is Ian Edwards, as you say, and I grew up in the UK and moved across to Sydney here in Australia about 15 years ago. I went to school in the UK. I went to university in the UK. I studied maths and statistics. I'm one of those STEM students that we always talk about, and graduated, back in about 1994. And then since then, I've been working in the technology and the analytics space, currently working at SAS.
Great, cool. So who is SAS? For those who don't know, what do you guys actually do?
Yeah, well, SAS, we're a global company. We're in around about 80 countries around the world, headquartered in a place called Carey in North Carolina, and obviously based here in Australia and New Zealand. There's about 14,000 employees around the world. But more local here in Australia and New Zealand, we've got around about 300. So it's a company that's been around for quite a while. It was founded in 1976 by our CEO and founder. He's still at the head of the organisation today, a guy called Dr. Jim Goodnight. And he founded this company because he was studying at university. He had a research project and he was trying to analyse lots of data. And there wasn't the technology around to be able to do the analysis that he needed to do. So he created a software package that was all about data analytics. And that's pretty much where it all began, and it's continued for the last 40 years, where we're now seen and recognized as one of the leaders in data analytics. And in fact, we've just been voted for the second year in a row one of the most innovative companies in the world to work for. That was recognised by Fast Companies as part of our partnership with Microsoft.
Wow, awesome.
And so here at SAS, what I do is I look after our academic outreach program and our Data for Good program. Two different programs, two very separate programs. The academic outreach program is all about encouraging school kids and students to study technology and to study analytics. And the Data for Good program that's where we apply those technologies and that analysis on projects that are all about how we can improve the world and how we can help humanity. So that's a bit about the company and what I do.
Amazing, cool. So when you're talking data and analytics, it's often really surprising how much it's in your daily life that you wouldn't even think about. Can you give us some examples of where data and analytics might pop up and how it's used in your daily life?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, for example, if you go to the supermarket, and you're looking at buying your daily groceries, your weekly groceries, supermarkets will use data and analytics to try to sell different combinations and more products to you. So they're very clever and they're very smart at looking at what they sell and trying to figure out, well, based upon who you are, what would you like to buy more of? So that's one example where you see it being used in supermarkets. Another example, we're all very familiar with the Internet of Things, and you've got smart fridges and you've got smart cars. So you want to be able to understand, say, for example, how a smart car is performing, is working, all that data that gets collected by those smart autonomous cars, using those IoT devices, you can analyze that information using our technology just to understand, well, how does that car work and how does it navigate from A to B? So lots of different examples where you can see data and analytics in real life.
And then you mentioned it's also used data for good. What is that and how does it connect to education, data for good?
At SAS, we're all about curiosity and we're all about empowering education. So we've got a big global program at the moment that says that curiosity inspires and that education empowers. So we want to work with the kids who are listening today and really challenge them to think about what is possible, what they can achieve through the use of technology and the use of analytics and data. So we want to encourage school kids to study science and technology and mathematics. We want to encourage kids to get hands-on experience with STEM and technology and become that future workforce, get the skills and experiences that our customers and lots of the organizations that you work with are looking for. Kids are growing up in extraordinary times today. They're all used to the internet, they're all used to things like smartphones and 5G and things like that. And this is where huge amounts of data and huge amount of information is now being created. And so having those STEM skills, those skills in technology and analytics can help organizations make sense of all of that data that's being created on laptops, on smartphones, on the internet.
And so why does SAS support data for good?
Well, as I mentioned, data for good is really important to SAS. We're not just about how we can use data and analytics and technology to help our customers, but we also want to use data and technology to help the world that we live in, to improve the societies that we live in. So we want to see how can using data and analytics improve education? How can it improve poverty? And for example, how can it improve the environment around us? We know that the students listening to this today are very passionate about the world around them and a sustainable world and a safe world. And so, we want students to be able to play an active role in our data for good journey and be a part of how we use technology and data and analytics to improve the world around us.
It's pretty incredible, and I feel like now more than ever, especially students are so into sustainability and the environment. So you've developed an experience. Can you tell us why?
Yeah, well, we wanted to bring the idea of using technology and using technology to analyze data together. We wanted to try to make something that was real. So it's one thing to say, we work to save, for example, the rainforest, but it's another thing to actually make it possible for students to join in. So we felt that by creating an experience, we'd really be able to engage with students and give them an opportunity to be a part of this solution. So, we do programs of work such as, how can we protect endangered species? We even do things like, how can we change behaviors through people understanding more about the impact of what they do?
That's cool.
And so we thought that by creating an experience that was focused on saving the rainforest, we could bring technology and analytics and the student community together, and we could crowdsource an experience that everybody could get involved in and feel like they're contributing to saving the planet.
Amazing. So what's the theme of the experiment, and also how do people get involved in it?
That's a good question. It's as I mentioned, it is all about the rainforest. We want students who are listening today to take part and look at how are we as humans impacting the Amazon rainforest? So the Amazon rainforest, everybody knows, it's the largest rainforest on the planet. It's nearly as big as Australia, 3/4 the size of Australia.
Wow.
It's home to one of the most diverse ecosystems in the world, but it's under threat, and we see on the news and we see on social media what's happening in the Amazon. And so we wanted to give students the opportunity to help us by looking at what is the impact that we as humans are having in the rainforest by looking at satellite images of the rainforest and by identifying where there is evidence of some human interaction. So, we know that today huge amounts of the rainforest are being cleared on a daily basis, whether it be for logging, whether it be legal, whether it be illegal. And the experience is designed so that students can show where these effects are happening and help us understand the scale of this problem. So it's really about how students listening today can get involved and protect our ecosystem.
Yeah, how amazing to be able to do that while you're at school.
Absolutely, yes.
So how does the experience work? Like, what do you do to get involved with it all?
Yeah. So we've talked about, we're a technology company, so we're all about artificial intelligence, machine learning. And so the experience is about how we can use AI and machine learning to understand how the Amazon rainforest is being affected. So AI and machine learning is very smart. It can detect patterns, and it can see where humans are having an impact on the rainforest. But it can't detect everything. It can't tell all examples of where we are affecting the rainforest. And so the purpose of the experience is really to give students the opportunity to go beyond what the technology can't do, to look at those images that I mentioned, to look at the satellite images of the rainforest and identify where we're having an effect. And so we're augmenting, if you like, what the technology, what the AI and the machine learning can do, because we're still smarter. Humans are still smarter than technology. So it can't solve these problems on its own. But with the students' involvement, with them looking at the images and detecting where we're having an effect on the rainforest, then we get a better picture and we can do more to stop what's happening.
Yeah, amazing. So when students take part, how will this help educate them? Like, I can imagine, is it going to help them with their data and analytics skills? What sort of skills will they gain from taking part in this?
Yeah, no, that's another great question. I mean, as I mentioned, we know that the students, the school kids, are really passionate about things like the rainforest and the environment. And so this is going to give them an opportunity to work with technology, to learn more about artificial intelligence and machine learning, to understand more about data, how by using data to do pattern analysis and vision analysis, you can start to understand patterns that are taking place in nature, and ultimately, contribute towards creating a more diverse and safer planet. So it's all about increasing that awareness of saving the environment, but at the same time, obviously getting an experience with data and analytics and technology to be a part of that solution.
Fabulous idea. I obviously urge all young students who are listening to have a look. So if they are listening and they want to know more, where should they head in?
Yeah, no, there's a couple of places. First of all, we've got a website where you can read more and understand more about this opportunity. So if you go to www.sas.com/rainforest, you'll see how we're working to save the Amazon, and the experience itself That's available via an online link, which I think we'll be able to push up onto the screen now, that school kids and students can go to, and they can start to take part today in that experience.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Ian. Well, the space that you're in and SAS sounds like an awesome company to work for. And yeah, I urge all young students to jump on those links and check it out. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks, Rebecca. It's been fun.